Spanish people sleep fewer hours and work longer days than their European neighbors, but are less productive. At the same time, Spain fails to attract overseas talent, while tens of thousands of well-educated Spanish youngsters are heading abroad in search of work. The country has also one of the Europeans' highest school dropout rates and a work culture hostile to the needs of families with young children. Meanwhile, its birth rate is fast approaching negative as its population ages. In short, it's the perfect storm. Spanish people under the age of 30 are poorer and more pessimistic than the Middle Easters, a neologism for people earning €1,000 a month, of a decade ago, despite being better prepared for the workplace. The 20-year-olds of today have been brought up with the world crisis ringing in their ears, and many believe that they will never be able to escape from it. But it is precisely because of this that they are studying far more, believing the extra skills will help them face the future. When comparing today's 20-year-olds to those in their 20s prior to the crisis, two things stand out: the precarious nature of today's working conditions and the fact that there are far fewer youngsters. The conclusion is that precarious conditions are no longer seen as transitory, but rather as something that has come to define today's job market. For that reason, in Spain, 80% of young people under 30 are still unable to leave their parents' house. The majority of those who have managed to leave have not been able to do it alone. And even so, the maximum housing area to which they aspire is 51 square meters. But what do normal people think about their future? Let's go for a walk and ask around us.
How do you expect your life to be 20 years from now?
I think that what I expect of my future life is what everybody expects, like having a family, a good job, a good house, what it's supposed to be, the life of your dreams. But I think that nobody knows what's going to happen in the future, but I think not everybody is going to have the life they are expecting, because I think the future is going to be so different from now, but not that much. So I don't know what's going to happen in my life 20 years from now.
Do you think your way of life will be better than your parents?
Well, I will try, but my parents have something that I love from them, is that they like so much their job, and I hope I can do the same as them.
Okay, so what do you think about the society now and in the future?
Well, I think I remember very old story of African people says the white man always have a clock but never have a time. We are always in a hurry all the time, in the cities, in the streets, but we don't have any time for the very, very important things.
Do you think your way of life will be better or worse than your parents?
Well, I think our life would be worse, speaking about money, because we will need to pay a much higher retirement money, because there will be more old men not working than young men not working. But in the terms of technology, there will be new innovation that makes our life easier and those things.
How do you expect your life to be in 20 years from now?
In 20 years, I expect my life to be really good, and I expect to be working in the job that I most like in that moment.
Do you think your way of life will be better or worse than your parents?
I think it would be better because now we have more opportunities and society and economy have improved, and we have advanced in a lot of fields like science, education, as well as in technology.
Do you think you must study the degree you like or the degree you need to obtain a good job?
I think you must study the degree you like,
because it's very important to wake up every single day knowing that you are going to do something you can enjoy. Also, if you like it, you are going to put more motivation to it, so you are going to do it better, and you can actually make a change.
Hi, I think that my future way of life is going to be a bit more difficult and a bit worse than my parents due to pollution, global warming and some other problems that we have in the world. Although, just maybe my generation might be lucky and we won't suffer the consequences made in the last century.
¿Cómo va a ser tu vida en comparación con la de tus padres? ¿Mejor o peor?
Va a ser mejor que la de mis padres porque voy a inventar la máquina del tiempo y voy a ir viajando de época en época.